Hello, and welcome back to some map guides. This one today is obviously for Sand River. Uh, we'll just go over some positions, some strats. But yeah, let's just get started. Um, yeah, so to start with, Sand River is very heavily sided for the east spawn. Um, it just is the better spawn. I would say you should have like a 70, maybe 80% win rate from this side because it's just so much better than the West. Um, the West has very limited options on what they can do, and they just have kind of worse positions, really. So there's not really much you can do, especially in advances if you're attacking from West. It's probably like one of the worst maps you could possibly get, to be honest. Yeah, the East team just gets very easy access to K line and just has better position on K line compared to West. It's easier to hold the North than it is from the West, and like this position is probably more powerful than this, so like they just have an advantage on basically every side of the map. You can make obviously the West spawn work, and you can sometimes catch people off, or they just make a mistake and you will win. But most of the time, he should be winning. Um, most of the time, at least. But let's just get started on some key positions. Right, to start with, we'll start from the east side. First position is just d6 on this ridge line. You are normally sending an EBR, a CS to this, just straight like this. I mean, you can also do this run, but it's a bit more risky. If, I don't know, they send something fast like this to spot you and they're sitting in base, so, and you don't need to be quick, really. Like, this is more than fine to get here in time. But yeah, the idea is you just spot this. You spot them coming like this. You spot them if they go like this, and then you run away if you're being pressured back. But just a very nice position to have, or position to use at the beginning of the game to see how the enemy team is opening and where they are going from the start of the game. Next position is also in the north. It's C0, this little bridge here, as well as this position and this. I won't make separate parts for this, just put it all in one. This position is just very annoying to kill because you're kind of hold down from everything. They can go here with tanks with good-ish pen, and they can kill you here with if you're like an I7 or something, but it's still very annoying to kill. Um, as well as you can shoot the entirety of this mid. You can give a shot to people here. It's really annoying to kill. The other one is here. Um, Again, it's just a very annoying position to kill. You kind of need to be like, I think it's either here to kill it, or very annoying position to kill because you need to kind of go here or stop like here and shoot up and give the back of your turret to all the people in base. So it's a very annoying position. The next one is next to it. Just another annoying position is just in the corner here. You can basically like never kill it driving past if they have two people here. If there's one, then you probably can kill it, but you can and will need like this to then shoot this to kill it, and you can also do it from like in the houses as well, and maybe in like this dip you can shoot up a little bit, but I doubt it. It's more like these angles here that can kill it. Um, yeah, just a very annoying combo positions that will take a long time to die if the enemy team is pushing north. Right, next position is C8 slash C7. So you go here, it's normally like something with turret armor. Can be like a chief, it can be IS7, even. I know it doesn't have gun depression, but something with turret armor. You can use a tank with gun depression to go here, but it needs a strong turret. You're basically here because you can spot them coming like this. If you climb up high enough, you can also spot this rotation, which is insane. Uh, like they just can't leave north if they've like gone here, and you can get a tank to like come up to here and spot this, then they can never leave unspotted. As well as if they try and push you and you see it coming early enough, you can then run away into like this area a little here. It's blocked off by some rocks, so you can go all the way back into this, and you're kind of, well, you're just very hard to kill in this position. They kind of need to play like on top of these mounds and try and get enough gun depression to shoot you. They can't really kill you from anywhere but like these little houses here and just aim up at you and shoot you. But it's a very annoying position to kill if you get a tank here and they just drive past and they go to here and now they have a guy behind and they're kind of fucked. It's just a very annoying positions to have. Next should be a pretty obvious position, but it's just a ridgeline and base. Yeah, it's just very versatile. You can help mid. Well, if they come like here to try and kill the guy here, you can just shoot down on it, or come here. You can shoot obviously the entirety of north. If they push in, you also just kind of stop them from pushing all the way through your base. You have, I mean, the optimal setup is like one guy here, and he just takes ages to die. People can go out to here and shoot him, but it opens them up from K line, so it's just a very annoying position if they're trying to push north. Obviously, you can shoot this, yeah, north as I mentioned, and you can give a few shots to K line if they are pushing all the way. Like you can shoot over this little ridge. Um, so it's just very annoying for the enemy team, and just yeah, it's a very good position. Okay, the final position is this ridge line, so G5, G6, G5, I guess. It's mostly used to shoot J1. If people back off, you can just shoot them in the side. You can also shoot F1 if they fall back from it. You also shoot the top of this ridge if you come like a bit further to here and I don't get blocked by the mosque. You can send fast tanks here like a CS or EBR from the beginning, and you spot people coming to 1-2 straight. You see if they've left anything here, like 9-0s or something to shoot this cross. You can even do like this run in an EBR, which spots this, and hopefully if they go fast way. So a very good position, versatile. You need to be a little worried if you send heavy, like one heavy tank here, because they may repush it with two and just kill it, because this can't really cover that well. So you need to be a little careful about sending like a heavy tank here straight if it's just one heavy tank. But if you're sending like 3 to get early punish on this, it should be fine. You should never get repushed. But yeah. Next positions are like this ridge line, so G6, G7. You basically are using this if you have north control and the enemy team is pushing K line and has like this position and like this. Normally it's a stirve, you're trying to get into these bushes or like this ridge line to shoot and farm this and a little bit of this. But you need to basically push it. If there's a guy here, he needs to die because obviously you get spotted going here. Before they changed the map, most teams would put a 279 here, but no one's doing that anymore because like it's kind of killable, and it's just not really used anymore, other than just doing this reaction. But yeah, a very good position if they're fighting for K line. Next position is H7, which is here. It's like a little ledge here. In Gifted, we call it the Buddy Christ position for reasons. But yeah, this position, you cover this angle if they're playing full Kalen and trying to play on top of the ridge. You shoot that. You can also spot mid from it, which I'll show in the little video after this. Just basically spots this. And yeah, you're just really hard to kill. If they push through mid as well, if you're a 279, you can just turn around and kind of be invulnerable to them. You can also like protect this edge of base. Yeah, it's just a very good position to have, and I would say normally every single time you'll have a tank here. It's just very good. Just it's very versatile. Does a lot of things for you. Another position is like K3, this ridge. You're normally sending a tank with gun depression here to basically push away the people on J1. Um, just you have a nice hold down. I think one, possibly two people can play it against this position, and it's just makes them back off because they can't play against it because you're completely hold down and you can see their low plates if they're like too far forward. You can also spot this like a little bit if you send, I don't know, if you send like an I7 here straight, you might be able to catch something if they try and rotate back or something. But yeah, it's just mostly used to push away these people. You can also shoot this ramp from here as well. But yeah. Next position is in the south. It's K0, this little, I don't know, peninsula, I guess. It used to be a lot more powerful before Wargaming changed it for the better. They had the little crossroad, whatever you'd call it. So it's a lot easier to get to now. But it's just a very good hold down to have if the enemy team is pushing north, or pushing south, sorry, and is continuing to push all the way, and you've played like heavy north. Right, to start from west side, some key positions. We'll start with A1. It has a few uses. Most people are putting a stove here or tanks with very good gun depression. And it's basically to farm the base. There's some bushes back here, which you can, and some trees, which you can knock down to basically shoot the base. Hopefully should be completely unspotted. You can shoot F1 as well if they peek badly. But yeah, your main objective is just to get resets on the cap. While I hope, guessing your team either just pushes theirs or comes back. You can also use it if you're playing like heavy south. You can put a tank here that spots A line and then just drops down if it starts getting shot from, like, if they have this or they get tanks into this, and then he just drops down into the dip and does safe. But right, another key position is the B8. This little ledge. You need to be able to do the climb. I will show you in the video, or the little clip later after this. But yeah, you just get up onto this with an I7 or something with turret armor. I mean, you can do it in like a CS, but ideally you want something with turret armor so you can constantly be peeking. And yeah, the idea is basically you're spotting this. So nothing can retake north really without being spotted. I mean, they can do this, but hopefully you're spotting this some other way. Like an I7 here, or I don't know, you can put a tank up here to spot this. But yeah, so they can't leave K line north, and they can't go up to north, right? To spot everything that's coming. Helpful if you're defending and you just want to sit and wait for them to do something. But yeah, it's just a very nice position to use a spot to spot them coming. Next is basically only used in 279. Again, if you're playing quite heavy north, he is just on the rock here, and basically he's just above people in the cap to where they can't pen him. And the only place you can kind of kill this guy is either here. You can like kind of boost up on this and shoot it, or if you have a bit of north control, you can put a tank here and he also farms it. But yeah, it's a very annoying position if they don't have people here, and it just wastes time for the enemy, where they need to kind of deal with them. And you know, it takes like 30 seconds to a minute to deal with them, especially if you don't have the positions to do it. But yeah, just another thing to make the people turn their turrets to give easy shots to the people back here. Next is D6. It's kind of the same from this side. You normally are sending a CS or EBR to go here straight. He then just spots whatever is coming north, which, you know, it's very helpful information to have. If later stage of the game, you can just sit here and farm anyone that tries to cross. Need to be kind of careful. You can't stay here if the enemy team have won the south, because they can go to this and just peek up and shoot you. But yeah, it's a very early spot, which is very helpful. Right, next position is F1. You are normally using this if you're playing heavy north. You can use it as well if you're playing south, like if you bring a TD here and you play outside while pushing north, but you're basically using this position if you're having north. And I mean, if again you're like full south, obviously he's there to reset the base, but other than that, if you're playing north, he should be used to basically spot J1, and then after he gets pushed back, he goes into this or this, and just is a distraction for the people on the cap. And they have to turn their turrets and gives easy shots if you have people here and here. But yeah, this guy needs to be. Well, he will lose health because most teams are just sending one guy like this to go close up to him. They shoot him to make him go back. He then gets shot from this position in his ass or his side, and then he falls back into this. Probably he should be down like 1,000 health ish, unless they have like a lot of people here. But yeah, it's a very annoying position. If he gets back into E2, because this little ridge line here kind of stops him from being shot easily. And if he can't get back, this is also quite annoying as well. So yeah, a good position. Okay, another position from west is this little dip here. It is kind of confusing when you first ping it on people's map because they don't really know exactly where you want. So, uh, yeah, you need to kind of tell people what you want. Probably tell them again when they'll probably ask where you want them specifically. But it's just here, and he's basically used to spot mid pushes early. He's very annoying to kill. You stop people being on the ramp because you spot them through the little crack in the rock. If they want to push you, you might have some people in base that can cover you, and even maybe even repush or repush from south if you can. But just a very quite a nice position. You don't need to use it. It shouldn't be used like every game, but if maybe you're doing some kind of split, it's quite helpful to have. But yeah, a nice position. Just another early spot is G5. It's kind of the same, but from the west. You're basically going here straight in a CS to spot this if they're crossing quickly. You can put a guy here and some tanks here that are like 260s or some 90s that then punish this cross for you. So you get a bit of early damage. It is kind of a hard shot because of the buildings, kind of, but most people are not really crossing this way anymore. They're mostly always going slow way just to avoid the punish. Okay, next position is K2. It's this little hole down here. It doesn't really show it on the minimap, but it's a little dip here where you can put tanks with very good turrets. So normally it's an I7, where you're kind of unkillable until they push you. Uh, and again, it's just crossfire. So you have people on J1 and here. If they push towards you, this these people peek up and give a shot of punish to the people crossing, where if you have anything more than 460Ps and they all hit, that's the tank dying. You normally send 2 people here, so one can make a shield for the other. It's just very annoying to deal with. Like this kind of hold is quite annoying. You need to send a lot of tanks to overmatch it to kill it. But yeah, a very good position. Okay, next position is D4. It's kind of like this ridge line. Maybe this is included, but it's normally like this. It's basically used to, if the enemy team is playing quite heavy north and you're playing quite light, so obviously you can't take the fight, you can then run back to here with like an I7 or something, and you're just kind of annoying to kill, and they need to bleed health to kill you. You kind of stop this. I mean, you kind of kill anything that kind of comes across. There is a little Hulldown for you. If they want to peek you from any angle, really, well, like this, obviously your people in base can also farm it. Right, let's just get started with some strats. We will start from the best spawn, which is obviously the east. Let's just go EPR, some 60 DPs obviously. 60 DPs, E5s, IS7. I'm gonna replace one of these people for. If I can use it as an imposter. One of these guys for a stuff. So, yeah, it's just a heavy K line opener. If they come K line against this, which is kind of insane to do if you're the enemy team, the plan is obviously these 60 DPs, they probably just huddle up and give shields to each other. These 60 DPs stay in this little dip here, just to make it harder for the people on the top to shoot them. This E5, there's some little house you need to kill. Can't remember exactly, but I think it's this one. I think you can maybe even kill it in the opener with people firing HE. But he just farms the top. Sturv, he decides if he wants to come next to the 60 DP or if he can get this. If you can get this, it is better, but obviously you need to make sure there is nothing north before you do this, because if you get spotted, you get annihilated. Right, this I7 will then either push out the north if he can, or he just comes to the mid-ridge straight. This 60p also can come to the mid-ridge straight. The 60p is also shooting, but more than likely he's coming here to also give some support if they just continue pushing through. This E5 is obviously just farming if they dump over. This 6p and E5 also need to be careful from if there's a guy here. If there is a guy here and these people are telling you they are shooting him, you probably need to go dump him and kill him so he's not an issue for these 2 people because they're quite important. But if you lose a K-line brawl and you have 10 people on K-line, something has gone wrong with the players. But yeah, if right, let's just go back to standard positions. If they are playing some kind of split, let's say So like the hold here, the K2 and J1, and they're playing some tanks north. Maybe some like 5 tanks north, let's say, and maybe they have 2 in mid or something. Your normal play is probably just pushing out the K line because it's very hard to retake the north with only one guy here, in which case he's probably been pushed and killed because they'll probably send 2 guys to just go here and kill him. If they get unfortunate, he might not die, but they might even send a guy to here to also shoot this. So he should die. So you have no kind of north control anymore. So your normal play is the serve code probably comes back to here. The 60dp can go here. If the 60dp can get back to base, he can go here and just support. So you can't really be pushed in your base anymore. The C5 can either join or not. Depends on what they have here. You then just bring your whole team and you basically go push this. The normal play to kill the split is you send enough tanks, so let's say 5. That's normally enough. You peek on the I7s that are in the dip. Let's just let's do was I7 fucked it. They're here with their I7s and 60 DPs. It's normally like 7 on this side, so let's just say that. Yeah, you just bring all your 60 DPs, basically 5 of them, and then you bring 3 on the top, like this, and your E5 can either push up or not. Well, if he thinks he needs to defend the base, he stays. This E5, again, it depends if you can get to mid. If your base is not under threat, then he should probably go here. He can also even go to here to shoot people that are going here. Or he can just stay and make sure he gets some resets on the base if they just full push it. But yeah, you should always have a guy in the ridgeline back here, so he punishes the overpeaks, so they can't just dump in. You have some crossfire, but yeah, you just kill these 2 I7s. You then keep on going. Obviously, you get this kind of crossfire now, and you push them fully back from K line. They're all back to these I7s. These I7s are dead. There we go. And these guys have fallen back to here now. That's why you kind of want a guy here, so he farms all of this in the back. But yeah, it depends if you can do it or not. I mean, the serve could come to mid, and this E5 could join here, or the 60p could go back to here. It all depends on what they have in north and how far they've pushed. If they haven't pushed this guy yet, you can probably do this. If they have, and they have quite a lot in the north, ready to push your base, so a lot of tanks here maybe, and maybe some tanks here and a tank here, so you can play the ridge line and they're ready to like swamp you from 2 sides. Yeah, the E5 probably stays near the base and the serve as well. But that's the 2 reactions I think you can mostly get from this strat. I mean, there are some people that are pushing through mid from the west. Personally, I don't get it. I don't think that's very good. But some people do push through the mid and play K line as well. The idea then is you see how much is coming mid with hopefully the C5 peaking well. Hopefully you watched the video on how to do it, the little segment that I did earlier. And then you just bring your team or enough of the team to kill it, basically. Yeah, it's very stupid to push through the mid river now. Since Wargaming added this, and this spot's very good now. It's very hard to kill, but yeah, you just go push over and you go kill anything that's here. And these double 60Ps probably stay in the hole with covering the E5 or whatever. So you hold K line or make it really hard for them to kill it, and yeah, you go kill this group, and then hopefully you win north as well off of that. But yeah, that's it for that strat. Okay, the next strat is a heavy north. So you're basically getting ready to push the north at the beginning. So yeah, then the rest of your team is basically pushing the north. That is medium, thanks. And like this. Oh, like one more, I guess. A stove, let's say. And then double IS7s. Okay, that's 3. Good job, mouse. Thank you. Good. Fucking hell, dude. I gotta check. Yeah, fucking yeah, bro. Fucking hiding. Need to get a new mouse. Holy fuck. Let me just check all the other ones. Bro. Swear to God, man. So, right. That's our opening. Now I think I can. I think I did that right. You can even do this technically. I mean, you can put a tank here if you want, but you're opening north anyway in the sky. Well, I mean, he's fine, but it's up to you if you want to put a guy there or not. Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple strat for now. You're just taking north off opener. You're just saying fuck you. You can't take the north off me. I will fight for it if you come here for it, and hopefully you win it. Because I mean, you're very heavy. So if they decide to fight, you should win. You can even reinforce with double 60p if you think they're fully fighting. But yeah, most teams are not sending this much north. This is eight north. So most teams are sending maybe 6 at most, unless they're also doing like a full north. If they are, I mean, you should just kind of win kind of off opener, because hopefully you get a tanky here. You spot this rotate. I mean, you need to be careful about if they have something in base that shoots it, but if you can get a tank up to here, he spots all of this crosses, so they can't leave unspotted. You then just take some tanks to the south, and you just win that. Probably all your 60 DPs. So you have 4 60Ps taking the south. This 279 can probably join mid with the serve. Probably not. You probably want the serve here if you're deciding to hold the north, or hold them. And just taking off the south. Then depends, basically, probably get F1. They can't have a tank here anymore. So then after you get this, you can definitely put some tanks up here, and then you probably are fighting for the north. Eventually, you should kind of win on positions. You can bring the CS maybe to mid as well after he's done his run. Then you can just join with the 60Ps and start playing on the top of this and hopefully slowly winning, because you have a lot of 60Ps and they probably won't. And then you can decide if you can push their base or not. Probably can't with 4, but I mean, if they're very heavy, like they have like, I don't know, like 12 tanks in the north, then you probably can push their base, but they probably will be defending their base with like at least 3. If I had to guess, like double 60p here and maybe a tank back here. So yeah, that's it if they come north. If they come heavy K line, you then are just taking the north control. So you probably get an I7 to here, you probably get a 60p up to here. You can decide if you want to keep on pushing through or not. Depends on how they play. If they, if you think they're gonna just full send K line, then you can go back with some tanks. But this 60p jumps into the hole. You then have like 5 60Ps ready to shoot for them. Maybe even this, right? Um, right? So they can't push this. Like they need a lot because they lose at least one tank on the push. It depends how quick you are. If you can get another tank into here, it makes it a lot better. Because they need to send 4 over instead of probably 3 because I think 1 dies on the way. So like if they want to push this out, they need 10 probably at least. And even then, it's still a hard push. And you probably win this, and then you're stuck here. So like, did you really win? But yeah, then you can try and push their base if they've like full sent K line. Kind of up to you if you want to do that or if you can. But if they're doing some kind of hold, um, like they're doing the double I7 thing and they decide they can't fight north, so they fall them back into their base. You can do like 2 things. You can either just say, okay, well, I've got my I7 here now. I've got maybe your CS is out here. You're then just deciding, okay, well, I'm just going to repush south with my entire team. Basically. And yeah, you just decide, fuck you, I'm going to push out this flank. And I have a bit of north control still. You depends if like you can like keep some tanks in the north. Maybe you, I mean, yeah, I should got to say you should take this and A3 because this, if your EBR is still alive, which hopefully he is, he can get into these bushes and he spots this rotation. He spots a little bit of the base. It is a very good push if you can get into this because it spots a lot and the enemy team can't really rotate without you knowing about it. And this I7 is just here to kind of spot a little bit of the base if he's dumb, and there's a guy here, you also can shoot it. But yeah, and then you just decide I push out south, and you should have a pretty easy time. Like you will get punished, obviously, from like here, or if they're deciding to fight you here. If they decided to shoot you here, they should die from 7279. So most of the time they should be sitting here. And they give a little bit of punish. It's not amazing shots, but they can pen a few. And then you just do the normal pushing this out. Killed this. You have crossfire in this because you have the stirb here, which is if an 9 can join mid or he can join the south. And their play is either a slow death or they try and repush north, I guess, because they should never win the K line, really, unless they've like left one tank here, and the rest are on K line. But hopefully your EBR is in time to see that, or you've just kind of spotted them. But most teams will reinforce their base or keep their tanks that they had going north into their base. And if you get the EBR here in time, they're all stuck, right? But yeah, it's kind of like the 2 main reactions, I guess, from it. I got absolutely fucked when someone did this against me in the rivals qualifier. They went heavy north, and I just didn't know how to respond to it because I've literally never seen a north play in a while against the strat I was using. So you might catch people a little off guard or not prepared for it. Like I was, like I got absolutely shat on with this strat when I was the west spawn. Like their only real play is to push out K-line, really, or they have to heavy stack K-line because this push is a lot harder to stop if you're obviously sitting in the base, and if you go for that base, then yeah, if you decide not to do a K-line repush, the push is normally you're sending. I miss my I7. What's the I7? Oh, yeah, but yeah. You're normally doing something like this. You still have, I don't know, let's say you have 2 like this now. You're normally then sending your tanks like this and into this dip, because obviously this way you get punished from the base, which is really sore. But if you go like this, the houses protect you a little bit, and you can jump into the dip and then wrap or start working angles. Because I mean, F1 is quite annoying to play if they have this ridge line. But yeah, you kind of just decide you want to push the base. Maybe you have some more 60Ps here, just to punish the crosses or whatever, and then you just start playing here and here against it. It becomes quite uncomfortable to play against this. If they've heavily reinforced it, you can even bring 60Ps. If for some reason the enemy team gives you this and north, you win, basically. Um, so yeah, they have to contest either this or their base, and if they're contesting this, hopefully their base is weak. If not, these double 60Ps can push up. The CS can come support maybe. You can also just come to the ridge. It's up to the CS. But if you can get like these positions, you're very good. And if somehow you can get into this position, you can even shoot the base from here. So it's a pretty good strat, I would say. Pretty good opening. Not a lot of people will be fully prepared for it unless they're also playing quite heavy north, which it is happening sometimes from west, but it's not. I don't think it's a very popular option at the moment. But yeah, one more strat to go. Right, next strat is kind of a split, but more focused on K line. Basically, a bit more, not confusing, but just you take kind of a bit more of the map in the opening, where you can kind of control this ridge line. If they don't have enough to push out the north, you can easily hold the north. If they push it with a lot, you then this 279 is quite annoying. He can drop into the hole, and they're forced into pushing into this guy to kill him. So hopefully you have some tanks stuck here, and then you can bring a tank to here, and they can never get out. They can't play here. It's just a bad position for them to be in because they have to cross back over. Yeah, but yeah, if they come full K line, like all the 60Bs are just probably just sitting in the hole. The 60B comes to here, the Sturf comes to here again. If you can keep a guy at the back, then fantastic. Probably should do that. Then you're pushing out the north with the double I7, CS. 279 can probably just come back to your base to here to snipe for you. It obviously depends on how much they have north. If you need the 279 to push out the north, then probably just take the 279 up to like here, and the double I7 pushes out this, and then you're just kind of just holding again. The Sturv, it's up to the Sturv. If he thinks they're gonna dump, he should go here. Really. If he thinks they're just gonna play on top, he should go there to farm them. I would say in most scenarios he should probably go here just to make sure if they repush into you, he just farms a shit ton. If there's a guy here, these double S7's gonna YOLO him and kill him, and yeah, you have quite a lot on K line to stop a dump from them. I have lost the dumps, but if you spot it early enough, you should be fine. The EBR, yeah, if you think they might push away the EBR at the beginning, you might just want to send your EBR here, so he spots kind of everything coming. That's the thing I lost to. My EBR kind of got pushed away, and I didn't see it early enough. They brought some tanks like this and jump over, and I just didn't see them. But at the same time, I was slow to reinforce K line because I just didn't know where their team was. But yeah, if they push K line, that's kind of the reaction you would do. Let's say they are doing quite a heavy north. Um, Again, you just trade off these 3 tanks. The CS obviously tries to run away if he sees a shit ton. And then you decide what you want to do. Probably K-line is free, so you probably just push it out with like 5-ish, and then maybe you keep like 2 tanks here to punish the guy leaving. Again, this 279's up to kind of him. If he thinks he can leave it and go like here, that's good, because then he fucks this cross. But yeah, and then you kind of decide on what you want to do. If they've committed with a lot into this dip, you can just repush it if you want, or you can just sit. Like the stirve goes back here, you sit, and yeah, they have to push into this, and you're pushing their base. And yeah, I mean, you have enough to kind of push the base now. Like you have what 5. I mean, you can even bring one of the 60 piece from mid. Their EBR, I don't know. He probably again goes into this bush just to spot everything for you. And yeah, you are just kind of trying to win on kind of cap pressure, and them being kind of slower than you are. Because I mean, their base is a lot harder to defend than yours, really. Because I mean, you just need like it's very open. If you have a guy K line, maybe your EBR or your CS has got away. Like if your CS has managed to get out, which he should really, he's either here or he can run back to here. Maybe the Sturv can go there if they keep on pushing. And yeah, your base is really open and they can reset for days from here. I mean, the C7 can also maybe even get some resets in. But yeah, that's the kind of the 2 kind of main things that might happen. Again, if they play some mid thing, you can decide if you want to push it again or you can hold it. Because obviously you have a 60p in base. Depends on how much they push with, but you can just push in with like 3, and then hold K line with the rest. Maybe one back here, whatever. Depends on how much they bring K line. Obviously, if they bring a lot K line, you will just need to try and hold this as best as you can. I mean, if you see it like all the way, if you're like here and you see it, you can just stop and not commit to anything. Maybe like 1 tank to get the early info. But this 279 just put the mid push here if he's peeking it correctly. But yeah, pretty simple strat, I would say, for San River's east side. They're not really that complicated. It's just you're the much better side of the map, so you should be winning. I would say 70 to 80% of your games from this side of the side. If you're like an equal, if it's like an equal matchup, you know, like a 1.1 K Elo clan versus a 1.1, you should be winning like 80% of your games from this side. Really. Obviously, some things can happen. You can maybe not see the pushes coming and you get caught, but that's World of Tanks sometimes. But yeah, on to the other side. Okay, here is another replay from east side. This is Dan leading. Obviously, because I'm in EBR. But like a similar strat to what I've shown before. Just with like 2 going north, basically. As you can see, the CS can make this cross. Just about. And yeah. This is the EBR route you should be kind of taking to spot the K line. You can pick up here, you see this gap, you can see this gap. You can go all the way to like cross to here to see if there's anything going late, and yeah, there they are. Fantastic. Very risky, but we got away with it, so that's fine. Now, with this info, we still have 3 I7s unspotted. Because they're unspotted, and I peaked really high for that. I would imagine they are in the north. So I would just keep my north hold. My CS should probably get away soon. and I'll probably just push K-line here because they're not going to have a good enough defense for it, because I will just have better positions in a second. Yeah, there's your I7s. The I7s could have also been in the middle, but like that's just kind of unlikely. So yeah, I'm just trying to find a good place to be in EBR. At this moment in time, it's kind of hard to think about what to do in the EBR, but I will just go down to this ridge line because there's not really much else I can do here. But yeah, like yeah, we will just, they have to run away because we will just get better positions on them. So they're trying to run away with some at least. We kind of seems to have gotten fucked here, but I think we do good-ish damage on the running retreat. Yeah, not bad. Not the peak. Yeah, now it's a bit more difficult now because they're holding this kind of defensive thing. Right now, you probably want to start either sending some things back to get 9-0 control again. Maybe like one more, like 2 60 DPs max, maybe even one is enough. Probably one is enough, really. But I mean, for some reason they're pushing in here, which seems very odd. Our STRV is going to farm them here. So yeah, I don't really know why Andrew went down. He should just be going up, so he can maybe even run away here. Going here makes sure he gets caught, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm just helping out at base here with this push. But yeah, I think we probably pulled too much out of K-line here. I think these back two should really be staying. We have more than enough to kill it, but I think Dan can't see the health, or didn't see the health over here, so that's why he brought a lot over. But yeah, we can start kind of killing the north now. The people on K-line need to be a little careful of being caught, but yep, now they're running. Fantastic. Lucky me, I bait him into peeking badly and he got killed. And now I'm just gonna go try and catch the CS because he's a one-shot. But yeah, like not a bad game. We bled too much on the K line. Really, I think that was just down to people peeking badly. So happens, right? But now we have control of all of North, and we will start to either push through mid or reinforce K line, so they can't. Pardon me, they can't push it out. But it looks like K-line is completely fine here because they have mid-ridge, so they can't really peak high, and they have to peak in that little dip in K5, and yeah, it's not a great situation for them. But yeah, I mean, we'll just kill middle here. We can start going towards their base, even if they somehow kill K-line. Unlucky. But yeah, I mean, a pretty decent game. I think some people fucked up on Kayla, as I've mentioned. So that's why the game was kind of close. I mean, they also only had 14, so like, you know, what are you gonna do there? But a pretty easy game, I would say. But yeah, after they've, or after you've realized you can't push through 1-2 anymore, it's time to start rotating back to 9-0 to try and win North control, basically. Yeah, pretty easy game. I'll see you in the next segment. Right, here is a replay from good side, so east. This is against FX slash like Noggy's like rival team. I don't know if it's fully his team, but still a very good team. Yeah, like from opening a lineup, to me it looks like they're gonna have their 3-9-0s in base with the STRV. The CS will be probably north. They have double I7 here and double I7 going north. With EBR could be either side. Probably will be south if I had to guess. And the 60Ps will just become 1-2. This is quite good from FX. They use this I7 straight, and it basically pushes away my EBR. So my EBR can't really spot that well on the top. Also, the CBR run I haven't really seen, but I guess it would spot people in base. I think I talked about this, so this is why I might start sending the EBR here instead, just to get reliable info in case they do this again, because kind of cut off Nirix. I mean, Nirix should be really peaking here, but he isn't, so we don't see what comes. They're striking the corner because we have a strike agreement. That's why they're not using it on us. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate Nirix doesn't peak, so I kind of just don't see this. I mean, it's kind of obvious that they will be playing this side because this I7 is so aggressive. And as you can see, the aggression is kind of met. Like, they're just not quick enough to kind of help this I7, so we just peek on him. I bounce because they suck, but it's just a free tank. These 3-9-0s, I don't really know how they actually drove. I think they drove like this and over. But yeah, people in the base are a bit slow to react. This 60GP should have really started coming down here already to reinforce, and the serve should be moving already, to be honest. Yeah, this is just a dumb strat on K-line. It is well done by them. And yeah, Ninos obviously will quickly die to 60 TPs, but you know, they have a lot of their team here. But I mean, Kochka shouldn't have gone long way. He should have been here. This SDRV for some reason still hasn't moved, and he should be also down here covering this. We're in a, like I would say, a pretty good position right now, but it starts to go kind of wrong in a sec. Yeah, they just get 2 more kills. We get a kill, but they get 2 more tanks. But we have Kochka kind of finally got here in time, and the STLV is kind of still out the game, which is quite annoying. Like Nerix dying there is also really bad. You should be really staying safe here, but whatever, you know. And then yeah, I should have told Dan to probably push through mid to put. I mean, like I could tell Dan to go for this STRV, like maybe just pressure him off this ridge line, but we're still in a fine position. I mean, like we're 3k down, but it's still very much holdable. But no, there's another kind of mistake that happens here. But kind of costs us the game. Yeah, basically Zane is shot and set on fire, and yeah, he dies for this, which is really bad. Rather unfortunate, but I don't think he should have peaked at all, really. But whatever. So that's kind of like our last remaining HP. Kishti uses a bit too much health to push away this STRV. So yeah, now the game is over because we're 5k down, 9k down. Sorry. But they do start to kind of throw this a little bit, but it's never really close after this. And yeah, but yeah, the main thing is from this battle, make sure your EBR is getting info on what is coming on too. It's kind of your choice if you want to bring him to where I did. Normally he is on the ridge on J3. This, if you can see with my cursor, I hope you can. I think you can. You should be doing runs here, but because this I7 came in, he got a bit scared and didn't pick the ridge well enough to spot this. So we didn't see it coming, and I got kind of surprised. But in retrospect, I should have probably seen this coming after seeing this I7 being so aggressive. But yeah, you need to make sure you call your STRV and 60GP that are in base to come help very quickly to make sure they're on time. Other than that, yeah, this tactic shouldn't really work against this, but yeah, we just got a bit surprised with the 3-9ers. So yeah, on to the next one. Right, on to the bad side. First we'll start off with a full K line. These really shouldn't work. Really. So we will go with 5 I7s here. We will go with double 279 to here with CS's pushing. We will then bring 60Ps, a few of them. Let's do that. And then we'll bring 1 CS, 1 CS. And yeah, the idea is another change to CS in mid. No, I won't. You can just make these other tanks, like people are bringing double serve instead of double 279, so you don't need to push them, and the double CS can be 60Ps, so you're a more quote unquote meaty. But yeah, the idea is you basically just try and put these people in crossfires. If they've decided to commit up, these double 279s can kind of push away a lot of people and just play above them and shoot all of these people while they're invincible. The 60Ps also just peek on the top and try and shoot anything. The I7s probably are dumping in with all of them to make the turrets turn and stuff. And then you probably bring the 60Ps up to here like this. These double CSs kind of depends. It's kind of why people don't bring. I mean, like if you're going full K line, you could decide if you want these CSs. I would keep one guy here for crossfire, but you technically don't need this position because you're just going full K line no matter what. But yeah, these double CSs kind of can't do anything after you've done this dip. So like you can make them 60 TPs as well and just say you're going to do it slowly or full K line slow, but this just gives the enemy team a lot of time to react, like in my strat where you get a guy here, you get tanks here, this guy dies from double I7, like it's kind of annoying to do it slower. Yeah. It can work against enemies that for some reason don't see it coming, or the enemy team just doesn't play well on the K line and they just get caught. If like for some reason they all play up here instead of in the little dip here, it can work, but I probably wouldn't recommend going for K line. It's just a very simple strat if you just can't be bothered. Or, I mean, if you're a very high elo against them, you can just do this and just win off player skill. But most of the time, I wouldn't try this strat. If for some reason they are not contesting you on K line, yeah, it becomes a bit more difficult, really. This CS will probably run back to base. You'll bring like at least 160 back, maybe two. And then yeah, it depends on what you kind of see other than that. If you think you can push it out the K line, go for it. But it will be a hard push, but maybe you can catch some things. And yeah, you just go the vine to the dip, go push this, and yeah, you see how it works. And see if it works basically. It can work if they're not prepared. If they don't put anything here and you can take it here for free, then fantastic. Because then you can start like if they don't contest this for the lot, then you can just start rotating out and getting some tanks to maybe some positions in mid, or you may just push this over fully and just go take this ridge line and cap their base, right? Because you can cap safe here from like a little in the north of the cap, and they can't really shoot you from mid ridge. So yeah, if you can push the K line out all the way, you should. If you can't, I don't know. You start to see lots of tanks here. You're kind of boned because like you're kind of just stuck in this little dip with all the 60 DPs are. Like you're just stuck here, and you kind of just need to commit, or you can't just sit here forever because eventually they'll probably just push out your own base, right? But yeah, it'll be a hard fight on the K line, but you can do it. It's very simple. You just tell your team to go in, take the positions above them and beside them, and just shoot this group in the top bit, and then you can just drive in to the other group. Yeah, the problem is obviously there's positions like here and here, just farm your 279s. They are not safe from people below and this, so they will be punished for it. But yeah, on to the next, I think. Right, next is a heavy North Strat. I much prefer these over full K line. Let's just get the lineup. I've forgotten it. Wait a second. Yeah, I was on the right track. Them down. 60p in base. Running 60p. VR. And then double 260. Right. Yeah, the idea is all the i7s and 60p's are going short way. If you think the 260s are not going to be punished on their way, if they go fast way, you can do it. Not really any problem with it, because obviously you might be K-line with this, with the rest. But you may as well just be safer than sorry and just go a long way and push the i7s. The serves are coming north as well at the beginning. They're just coming north, and you're basically committing to a north push unless they're like, obviously if they're stacking north, then you could probably rotate out with some tanks and just hold the north for the rest. But most of the time, you'll be pushing in, so you send all your IS7s in over the top. If these 260s need to come as well, if there's, for example, if there's a guy here, you'll probably need to send your 260s to here and then to these buildings here to then kill this guy. You might need the stirb to go above him just to make crossfire on him. This 60 TP then comes across to here, but the idea is the stirve is here and here. These double stirves farm this ridge line. Oh, that is not a straight line. These stirves just farm this ridge line, and if they try and repush into you, and these I7s are in this dip, basically. If there's one low health, you can stay here. So you have this basically. At the same time, obviously they're probably pushing out K-line, so this guy falls back. These 60Ps are coming back to the base to cover. If this stirve feels like he's doing nothing, he should go back to A1. If they're pushing their base, your base with a lot, he should go A1. Just to have another crossfire angle to reset the cap, and then you decide what you want to do with the rest of your team. These I7s, they can, if they have like one guy playing on the ridgeline, or if they don't have anything on this ridgeline, you can just do a Houdini and just go like this with all your I7s and come back to the base. You should be spotted doing it, but sometimes you might not if they're not peeking it well enough. And then you come back and collapse your base. If they're standing a lot for your base, obviously you just full set theirs. It's a cat race, right? Oh, sorry. Another thing is after this EPR does his run, he should then go back to these bushes here, where he then spots this little cross here, and he spots them going K-line for you. He should only do 1 or 2 runs here, and then he should go to here. So he's in time to see it, right? And then you see how much is coming to the K-line. So you then can make a better assessment on what to do with these people, right? Yeah, it's quite a simple strat. You're basically pushing north no matter what. If for some reason, or if the enemy team is coming heavy north, I would probably rotate out with 260s. Can also not if you don't want. Your stirves is kind of a problem. Like your stirves are kind of not useless, but they're gonna struggle to do things now. But probably the idea would be something like this kind of a setup. You might even bring your 60Ps in. It really depends on how much they have north. I would say if they're coming north, I would keep either 1 less than them or 2 less than them, because you should have better positions, and you can then fall back into even more defensive positions if you want. But yeah, the idea would be to kind of spot their rotation from often the top, but you can snipe if they come like this. But this guy is just obviously to spot this cross. You can't really cross it any other way, and now they're all stuck here, right? And then obviously then the idea is you go push the south out. It really depends on how much they have north, because obviously pushing out K-line is very difficult. If you can get to this and this before they've pushed out, then that's really good, because then you can put like your stirve here, your double 260 here, and then you decide on what you want to do. Like, for example, your probably next play is to do something like this and get the mid to here to then shoot their ridge line. Yeah, I would probably put some tanks in the north. Maybe like this if you really want to just stop them from doing anything, or stop them from pushing into north. So now they're completely stuck, right? They can't really push into you, they can't rotate out. And then you just slow kill their base from these positions, and then you can even go in to this and clear out this, and hopefully all these tanks are stuck and they can't do anything, right? The 60 can come on the outside and even shoot this as well. But yeah, the other stir will struggle to kind of find something to do. Maybe he comes just to mid or something. Just to kind of shoot something in their base. So if there's a guy here, right? But I would say it's a decent strat. It can work against really any opener. You just need to react, right? But we will go on to the next strat. Okay, on to the next strat. This is more of a split. This is what I used in Clan Rivals for the qualifiers, or Clan Showdown, whatever you want to call it. But didn't work out for me, this one. As I mentioned earlier, the enemy team went north, and I just didn't react accordingly. I think I fought a Boba and I can't remember the other team. It was like a rave team. I think, yeah, I think it was a rave team. Yeah. But we should have probably won against a Boba, honestly. But we sucked, so it's fine. But yeah, the idea is these nanos and serves are here at the beginning to if there is something running this ridge and if he does it poorly, he gets punished for it. I mean, you can kill an EBR off opener if he peaks really badly and everyone hits. Yeah, you see how much is coming north. If it's like less than 3, you then can just take the north, obviously, and you just take it like this. So again, you spot anything rotating out. You have this control so they can't push up. And then it kind of depends on what the enemy team does. If you think you can push out to the north, like if they have like 1, maybe 2 here, what you can do is you bring all your nanos up north as well, like this, and then you push down with your I7s. You push them like this to kill anything that's here, and these nanos go like this as well to here. So you kill the guy that's in here, you kill the guy that's here, you have the CS sniping. Yeah, it's not as good as like an STRV sniping, but it can still, hit some shots. And then hopefully you get all of the good positions again. So let's just say you've pushed him with 2. Could you think that's enough? I don't know. And now you have kind of this control over them. You can then maybe even dump the Dinos into this. And after you can get tanks under them, and they haven't pushed out K-line still, you should slowly be starting to work angles. If they're a lot close still, then you can just probably come and work their base, but you can even start pressuring up with most of your team up to like this, because they have no positions anymore to snipe you back from. Because you can even do like this with the double 9-0 to kill the guy that's here. This I7 can even come through mid as well. This Sturv is probably doing something. He might be in mid, he might be in K line. It's up to the Sturv player. And then yeah, maybe this I7 also joins. So you have 4 guys to kill this guy. Then you can even come all here and you shoot down, right? I think from here you can also shoot the back of tanks that are all the way up here. So if they just decide to sit and wait, you should be able to just dig it out. Next scenario would be if the enemy team is kind of doing a split, but kind of more towards the north. What you would do is you bring a Sturv to mid. Okay, let's just get the tanks. STRB. Let's just say they have a tank here, 3 tanks covering, maybe 4. They have a tank at base. They have like 3 in the north. They have, I don't know, CS, EBR, tank here. So that's 4 north, right? That's 1 more. Let's just put a TD, right? So they've done kind of this kind of opening. Obviously, you don't fully know that in the beginning, but you see, hopefully, you should see all these heavy tanks with the CS spot. Like the CS can even poke on gun and just peek this and spot it. This guy should be a TD. Right. So yeah, then it's kind of a decision on what you want to do. these Ninos, you kind of decide. Um, if there's a guy here, I would probably push him with the 3 Ninos just to kill him. Um, again, the North I7s, it depends how aggressive the enemy team is. I would still probably take this and this because they don't know, they shouldn't know where your Ninos are because they also could be North, right? Um, and off of that, you can either catch the guy that's here and maybe even push through mid with the I7 after that. But normally the play is you bring all of your team close on the K line and you overpeak this man, basically, and you kill him. You take the damage, which shouldn't be a lot because the Sturv or whatever is here is farming these people, so they cannot peek really without being punished. And obviously, being shot by a Sturv, they will probably fall back. Um, and then you can kill this guy for free. And then you can rotate out. You have an I7 here that spots their repush, and then you can decide on what you want to do with the rest of your team. If, again, they're still just kind of doing nothing in North, because, I mean, if your Ninos have done this, I would probably be inclined to either push through mid with more. I don't know, like you bring, let's just say, like 360Ps over. You do something like this, maybe an I7, right? So you push through mid with the rest. Um, you might even bring your Ninos out because they can go through the buildings just so they have another angle on this guy to kill him. You kill this guy, you can then send, I think it's normally like this really. If you can go on this side, you should, because this side is annoying to peek because it can get shot from people that might be here in base. Might even have a guy here. So they can go here and kill this guy. If there's a guy here, they should. If there's not a guy here, then they can either continue like this. Still delete that guy because he's dead. And after that, you got to push that base, right? Because the North is not really doing much at the moment. That's kind of the two kind of reactions. Like I said, I got fucked when the enemy team did a heavy North play, and I just didn't see how much they were coming North with. I saw like, I think I saw 6, I think, and I went back to my base. I did this, and I just did nothing for a while. My CS got caught, but I kind of had this hold, and I had no positions. And I eventually decided to repush north, but they had a really good reaction because they were gonna repush K line. They had an STB here and like an I7 here that managed to run away, so I literally caught nothing in the north, and I bled like 5k, and it was over. But yeah, you need to be kind of careful if you end up like this. I would probably just rotate your Ninos fully out. Your CS can stay just so he spots this, and then you kind of just go into this kind of hold, basically, where if, I mean, I would probably bring a 60B back to base, to be honest, just to make sure you have some turret armor there. But yeah, this I7 is probably going to die. He probably wants to run away back to, he can't even run away. He probably runs back to like here, probably, because he can't really be covered by base anymore. That's what protects this I7 from like a mid push, right? Um, but yeah, you're not in a good position if they go kind of heavy north and you can't push out the K line. Like I would just say, if you see like a lot of their team um, coming to their coming north, like 6 or more, maybe 5 or more. But I think if they bring 5, you can maybe bring your Ninos fast enough to contest it at least. But it's kind of up to you. Um, if you think you can stop them from pushing up, but like my opener or my reaction, what I'm thinking about since like what happened in the rivals would be just full pushing K line and mid at the same time. Um, what you can do that's kind of funny. Um, you can send an I7 up to this place under the 279 or whatever's here, and he spots this rotation for you. He can't really be killed from here because you should have the Sturv in mid, maybe, or you have at least a tank in mid, just to cover this overpeak. If there's a guy here, I mean, there should only be like one guy here if they're playing like this heavy north. But yeah, I mean, like their lineup was more like this. This is more like a heavy north, right? Um, and yeah, the idea would be get the I7 here, spot this rotation. These Niners can come through the houses or through mid. It's kind of up to them. And you go kill everything in their base, take this, and hopefully you live long enough, basically. These I7s are being covered by the stuff. This I7 positions are quite annoying to push out. Like, they have to push over this I7. This I7 can then, if they start deciding to push him, he can wrap around, and he can start shooting this, and give even better shots to this CS and the stuff. But like normally their reaction would be sending back stuff kind of instantly if they are a good team. Really, because like if they only see double I7 coming, like they might just go, okay, I'll just send 3 tanks up. They might just go, okay, well, I'm just gonna send like 3 tanks up top and something like this, and the other 2 can go back. And these people are instantly back into these positions. This guy's here, this guy's dead. Let's say this guy is alive for now. They might not even put him here. He might be in base, so he can reinforce. So they have 4 here, 2 guys coming back from K line to also reinforce this, and you just are forced to take this fight. Which, I mean, it's not technically bad, because hopefully you could catch this guy. These Niners can then, if these guys have committed into this, the Niners can go behind, and you go push this, and you overmatch this area with most of your team. If they're sitting here and here, I mean, again, you just need to go kill this guy. It's gonna hurt, but you just need to kill him, and then you start working up positions like this. These Ninos can obviously, after they kill the guy, they can decide on. You can decide if you want them again just to go full push their base, or if I don't know, they have like 6 tanks here, and you got really punished, and you can no longer push out K line. You might just rotate with them and try and take the north fight again. The CS also probably rotates out, and if you have anything else that can rotate out from K line, you probably should. And you just take this fight, and they can't push into this because you hopefully have this and this, right? So that would probably be my reaction to it. When after I got fucked by it, that's what I would do. I haven't tested that though, so yeah, we'll have to see. I'll have to try it sometime, but not a lot of teams are fighting for North control really. Most teams are playing for the South at the beginning and maybe sending 2 or 3 tanks to the North. So yeah. The other reaction. Sorry, there's a lot of reactions to the strat that are, I guess, important to know about. If you think you can't win the North, or you can just hold the North, I don't know, like this, whatever, right? These Ninos, if they like push out K line with not a lot, or let's say 10 tanks, maybe 9, something, you will then bring these Ninos to this. It doesn't matter, there it is. So let's just say they push out K line. Like this is their opener, right? Let's say 3 in the north, right? No, EBR. That's mid, it's fine. So like this. Obviously, they will get overmatched. That's 8. Oh, it's not a lot. But yeah, if they I mean, they will never push it with 8. I'm gonna be honest. They'll push it with 10. Like 9 at least, I would think. And yeah, you just bring your 9-0s and you overmatch it. this I7 can even join as well, right? I mean, why do I feel like I'm not... I don't have 15 enemy tanks. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I do. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just go overmatch this fight. Because first they bleed on peeking the I7s. The 60p is going to overpeak. These 60ps, they need to be careful on K line, like, because of this position that I pointed out in the key positions bit, where they can just get free shots on your 60ps unless they've pushed back, right? And all your 60ps should be pushed back unspotted, ideally as well. These I7s should hopefully see this push coming. After the 60ps get to here, you then start peaking high with the 60ps. The 9ers can either reinforce like this, and you just go fight it, or they can wrap around and try and kill them in the dip, right? But yeah, if they push this side with 8 or 9 or even 10, I would fight it because you have equal numbers at least and you bleed them a lot. Yeah, your 9ers are like not amazing health wise because 60ps will just 3-shot them, kind of. Right? So, I mean, with HP you get 4-shotted, but they don't have great armor because I think they kind of get overmatched in the side with AP. But yeah, if they're pushing it with like 12 for some reason, I would just accept the 2 tanks dead and go with the 9s and push their base. I mean, you can even do something like this if you're quick enough, like this with all the 3 CSs like this, and you can maybe push out the north if they don't have a lot there. So yeah, the 60p, these tanks here gets shots on them going up. To fight these guys, these 60ps give a shot on their cross, maybe 1 or 2, probably 2. You probably should get a shot as they go to the I7s, and then after they kill the I7s, you should get another one. After that, they're playing on the outside, like a ridge, being covered by the people in mid. And then it depends on if you can push out north or not. If you can push out north, great. If you can't, then you'll need to reinforce it and push it out, right? I mean, ideally, honestly, you try and get a 60p out to here, but you won't be able to, really, so your Sturb will have to do. I mean, he'll get overmatched, which is kind of the problem. But, yeah. I mean, he might even, I don't know, he might even put the Sturb in as well. But, yeah. I mean, the Sturb's meant to go back to A1 or some kind of defense, right? But yeah, it's very reaction dependent, this strat, and there's a lot to kind of think about as the FC and what you can overmatch. Because if you can overmatch K-line, then Nano should go K-line. If you think you can push out the north and hold K-line well enough, you should push out the north. If they're coming heavy north, you go through mid and push out K-line, right? But yeah, that's all for the Sand River strats. We will go into some gameplay so I can explain what I was thinking during the time. So I'll see you then. Okay, here's a game from Bedside, so West. This is it's the full K-line commit. Pretty simple. For this, I mean, I wouldn't take a Sturv if you're doing this. He's a bit pointless. I would bring 1 CS here still, just to get an early spot if they're coming. The other CS I would probably just still send north to D6, just to get north info and it like kind of make them think like a little bit, like you might have maybe something else in the north. And yeah, now we're just basically waiting for the team to arrive. And yeah, I am driving like this, so I'm in cover from basically everything until I get to here. But, yeah. And now we're in time. These CSs are just farming away at this E3, so this you can't sit here at all really. I get lucky fire, but yeah, now because of the huge strike, we just have to push this so we don't bleed so much health. And yeah, health is even now, but it actually looks pretty good because they're really sprung out. For some reason they have I7s here. They're not all sitting in this little dip and containing themselves, and they're not even going to leave and try and jump over the ridgeline. So we can focus out the top side. You should really focus out the top side first if there's anything here before you start killing everything on the lower, so they can't make a crossfire, or you kill a crossfire basically. And that's 2 tanks compared to 4, so we're going to kill this quicker. So, and as we do. Yeah, I need to be a little bit worried about base here, especially because if we push mid. I think we do send a tank back now. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, the game is kind of over. They just haven't managed to focus out tanks really. Like I'm alive. This I7's on 1.2. This is on 1k. This is on 700. This is on 1.3. You have Nerix on below 500, Dan is 300, so they just haven't managed to get some kills here, and we're up like 4k-ish. So, game's kind of over. Somewhat important is you can kill this 279 from up here as well, if you somehow can stay safe here. They can hit you from where the Asconk is if you are here, maybe even base if they have render. But yeah, game is won. FC'd fine by Dan, no real problems here, but yeah, pretty simple K-line commit. You can do what I showed in the other game versus FX from the good side, you know, where they dumped an I7 in quick way like this. It just, like, if you're going full K-line, you may as well just go slow way so everything is together, because if you go this way with the I7s and 60Bs long way, the 60B will be not in time to help the I7s for a bit. But yeah, pretty good game. Just mop up now, obviously. Big jump. And yeah, we win. So I will see you in the next replay. Right, here's another game from West. And this was for the qualifiers for rivals. This is my rivals team. Yeah, I mean, we were just sitting in base with Sturv and 3 nanos trying to punish this run. Aubrey is going to spot the 0 line, cross if there's anything coming. As you can see, you don't need to surf the ridge. You can just spot off your gun here. He just peeks now because the 260 fired, so he can get a good chance of the EBR. But yeah, he can kind of just sit on the top of this ridge with only his gun exposed. Yeah, I mean, this is the strat I showed to you in the video earlier. But yeah, like right now, I mean, it's sort of fucking obvious that they're just coming full K-line, especially with the setup. Like, they have so many 60Bs, they have one more I7, one Asconk, one E5. You would guess the E5 is on H7. The Asconk's probably in base, with the I7 being maybe in the north as well, I guess. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Another problem for our game is we're meant to have double I7 here, but we don't. Just some things happened, so yeah, we didn't. And yeah, here they go. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have 2 I7s in the dip, so they can kind of kill Cthulhu. Kind of, well, it's kind of easy to kill him. We kind of had 2 options here. Again, I showed in the video, like after we saw them coming in, our Ninos could have gone mid because they have nothing in north. And we can go to here and shoot them. Aubrey farms, I think, 3k here as this fight happens. But your other option is just to bring your Ninos to this side, and you need to get the timing very well on this fight, because you want your 60 DPs to take a salvo basically, and then your Ninos to go in. The Aboba did not play this well. They should have one guy at the back, but I think they're just very confident because they're a very good team, right? And this is, I mean, they just see gifted and they don't really care really, so they just kind of just throw a normal strat in. But yeah, as you can see, like, because we don't have another guy with Cthulhu, he just kind of dies for free, and then they can back off, right? And now we're kind of forced into repushing into them. Other option, instead of bringing the Ninos here, you can do like just bring them with the 60 DPs and then you just push them down. Like, you can do that as well. I just think I prefer doing this. I think it's just a bit better. Ammo. But yeah, I mean, they have an incredible focus fire here. I think they killed Sem in like 1 or 2 salvos. I mean, I die here as well. But yeah, our focus fire is just not as good as theirs, really. And really, our double 9 I should have kept on going all the way and onto their side of the ridgeline. But yeah, this just wasn't really played that well from the players, and my call on when to push the Niners over was not great. I should always send the 60Ps first, and then the Niners go over after they all fire, right? But yeah, I mean, like, I think we overmapped them here. I think it's 10 versus 9, I think. Or it's just 10v10, something like that. And I mean, health is okay, but we lost mid. We also should not commit for this mid fight with the double IS-7. We should have just kept up here with the double IS-7 with Aubrey to shoot them in the back as well, and this Escon can no longer push up and fight Aubrey. Chris can then just run around the mosque basically and live for a very long time, and the serve can help him if they try and go for him. But the main problem was K-Line. Yeah, we just didn't play it very well, and obviously this is a very good team, but it shouldn't be an excuse, really. We just played poorly here. So yeah, I mean, health is technically even on this, and like, you know, we didn't lose it like awfully in the end, but we should be winning this really hard, really, especially because they just didn't play very well. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a very good team, so a little bit hope, but yeah. You need to make sure, if you're gonna do the strat, you need to get your timings correct with your 9-0s and 60 GPs on the K line. But yeah, that's all.